We have Johnie. Johnny's back down here.
Yes.
Our sweet little Johnie that we miss so much.
Back with his tarot card screen behind him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's my calling card because it's hard to miss. And so everybody that even walks by the house, it's like, oh, there's a tarot screen.
Yeah.
My job.
Cool beans. So, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's well. Any announcement, you guys, or anything you want to tell the audience about? We've all missed Johnie. I mean, Jenny and I chit chat with him on text message all the time. I'm sure he gets sick of my ass, but
he was with us for like an hour and a half last week.
I was in the woods. I still am.
You're in the woods.
out of the element right now.
You've shaved since we saw you last.
Johnie, so now that you're out by proper woods, I really do need to sell you. I really do need to send you the Gandalf robe I got you. I'm supposed to send you for Christmas. I'm still sitting in my office over here, so you can go walking around in the woods in your Gandalf robe and your staff, looking like a wizard.
Oh, then I'll do my next live stream from the booby hatch when they lock me up. I'm like, what are you walking around like that for?
So I have a funny story. Can I tell it from Friday?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So my little town, it was Founders Day, my little one red light town, which means we have a hoedown, little tiny parade. It lines up on my street and then it goes down Main Street. And it was much smaller this year. I don't know if it's because of the shooting July 4th at a parade here in Illinois, if they were afraid or if I don't know why. Anyway, it's much smaller than it has been. But anyway, there's this big elephant on the Republican float, and my town tends to be a little more Republican. So the Republican float usually has a lot of people on it with it and walking with it, those that can't fit on the float. Well, this year, two floats up in front of it with Boy Scouts in between, so children in between, was the Democrat float, which I was amazed. Like they put it up near the front because it's always near the back of the parade. And I went up there because I have a new congressman. My new congressman is Bill Foster. It used to be Lauren Underwood, but they've redistricted. So I went up to meet him and I talked to him for 15, 20 minutes or whatever. And they had signs there that they were holding walking in the parade, and they had some extra signs. I said, hey, can I have a sign to put in my yard? And they're like, sure. They hand me a sign. So I go walking back past the Republican float holding this Democrat for Congress sign. And I'm just minding my own business. The floats are all over to the right side of the road. Thank you, Impish. Are all over to the right. I'm walking down the middle of the other side of the road, holding my sign, but just heading back to my house. And this old white man on the Republican float starts screaming profanities at me about Biden. I'm like, why are you harassing and trying to intimidate a woman walking down the road, screaming profanities when there's a Boy Scout troop right there too? Like, great example to set for the kids, right? And I'm walking along and he just, I just stopped right beside the float, right beside the Republican float. And there's a bunch of them yelling, but he's yelling really loud. And just, I couldn't even understand what he was saying. Big old beer gut. He looked like he was 3 sheets in the wind. And I stood there and I yelled at him. I said, lock Trump up. Just lock Trump up. I just stood there in the street for 5 minutes yelling till I was almost hoarse, yelling, lock Trump up. And I was a lot louder than him because, Aries. I'm standing there holding my and everybody is looking around, like, why is that guy attacking that woman? She was minding her own business. But now he started it. I said, go get your guns. That's all you're good for. Just go get your guns, your little mushroom thing that matches Trump's, does that make you feel good to attack a woman just walking down the street? Is that what makes you feel good and powerful? And he was like screaming some more stuff. And I yelled at him, I have the right to vote. You can't restrict my rights to vote, and then I just started screaming again for like 5 minutes, lock Trump up. And then the parade started moving. So I went home, I put my sign in my front yard, and I checked it the next morning to make sure they hadn't come and pulled it up. But I told my neighbor, who's a Democrat, I told him what had happened, and he was laughing. I said, so if you ever hear any gunshots over here, just come check on me, because these guys are nuts. He was talking about how nuts they were when he walked by with his children. He walked by with 3 young children. And he said they're nuts and craziness.
It's like they pride themselves in not even wanting to participate in civil society. Their answer to everything is violence, 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 and that's their only modus operandi. Like,
usually when somebody starts arguing with me, like when I worked in the corporate world, I would go the other way and get calmer, as they would elevate, I would get calmer and everything and just make them look foolish that way. But it's like, I'm walking down the middle of the street. All my neighbors, are walking by and everything, going up to the parade site. And I was like, lock him up. Just lock Trump up. I just couldn't help it. I just started screaming. It's like I vented out a lot of crap. Oh, hello, Becca Bellatrix. Don't chew on the wires.
No. The little demon.
The little demon's getting ready to come out here.
My little demon of Pringles. Yeah, the other day I was stuck behind a car in my own neighborhood that had a Go Brandon sticker. And then it had a sticker. These are stickers on the back windshield. A Go Brandon sticker. And then they had a sticker of like a vaccine with the circle with the line through it. I'm like, oh, great. Anti-vaxxer and an idiot. I mean, plague enthusiasts, these people. I'm like, and I know that this sounds horrible. It sounds awful, but I really do wish COVID was our chance to wipe the slate clean of idiots. And it's like, God damn it, Mother Nature. Like
there's still a bunch out there. This is little Roro. For those that can't tell the difference between Skewy and Roro on camera, this is Roro, Aurora. Roro likes to chase my pointer on my computer screen, so she goes in for close-ups. Yeah.
So what about you, Johnny? Anything new and interesting with you, sir?
I'm going to try try a daily live stream, like around 9 o'clock Eastern. So 876 your times.
9 at night?
9
Yes.
Eastern? Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like 6 o'clock our time.
Yes, 6, 7, 8, 9.
AM?
Eastern. No, PM.
Oh, PM. Oh, okay. I was like, damn, Johnny, that's early. Like,
I'm gonna try, but we'll see. I mean, that's the time I usually am up anyway, so we'll see. We'll see how that works. Never done one daily, and it's just an hour. And what I'll do is like take some questions from the chat and put the little star by them so that they will be saved in StreamYard. And then once we do those, then we're done.
Thank you, Larry. So I texted Becca and Johnny this week. Little Johnny Fortescue little Skewy caught his first mouse.
Is this his second one? Well, did he kill the second one?
The second one, I'm going to give him credit because he wore that thing out for 2 hours. But Roro is actually the one that did it in. So he caught a second one like a week later. But it was like a hockey puck. He was batting it around into the furniture and everything else. Just wore it out. So it was easier for little Roro to do. And like those dang mice are going to learn to quit coming in my house. They come from the woods behind my house.
I have been having an ant issue, and it happens every single year. Which I gotta say, for where I'm at, we haven't gone over 80 degrees at all. Let me knock on wood, because it's still August. You know what I mean? But we have not gotten hot. But I guess it's hot for the ants, and they are all in my kitchen. Everywhere, Jen. We had to take out the the dishes from the cupboards because they were all, I'm like, where the hell are they coming in from? So I don't know if they're coming in through the vents and then crawling in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because we redid our kitchen like 5 years ago, I want to say, and we had everything redone. So there's not like holes in the walls. So I'm thinking they're coming in through a vent or something. But it's like
they come in the smallest. Yeah, they can go up, pipes or plumbing or anything. They're a mess.
Yeah, and it's like, my brother-in-law left a dish on the counter, and I got up, made coffee before I went to work, and there was an entire conga line, Jen. You know where my stove is, right?
Oh yeah.
Where the stove is here, and then I have the panel with the microwave on the side. Down that cupboard, down the cupboard, across the stove, around the corner, all past the sink, and all the way to, I mean, there was an entire conga line of freaking ants in my, I was like, what the hell? So it happens every summer. They just come in, and I have tried every single thing before we just broke down and went to the store and got chemical stuff. People say use cinnamon, use this. No, they still come in. If they're thirsty enough, they'll come in. Like, none of that stuff is good.
They don't like peppermint too, says Google. And I got them in my bathtub. And that's the only place they are. And it's always like one or two. It's never like a bunch of them. And so I put the peppermint all in there, and no, they're still in there.
No, the peppermint hasn't worked for me. The cinnamon hasn't worked for me. It's like they just want water. So it's like I'm just going nuts. I'm like, I'm losing a battle. And it's not like they're fire ants or anything. They're just the little ants that they're a nuisance, but it's like, I don't know, dude. It's like, oh, it just, not that we have guests or anything, but it's like, how embarrassing would that be if somebody comes over and you go to open up and there's like ants all over the place. You're like, ah, it's like, I would like.
How embarrassing is it when one of your cats is playing hockey puck with the mouse?
And we have done that too, Sunflower. We've sprayed outside the windows, in the area outside the kitchen, on the outside of the house. We've sprayed all around there, everywhere. Like Peanut was out there, because it's like one of the things that comes in like a big, huge thing like this with a little pump, and you spray it. He was spraying the walls with it, like just everywhere. And it's like the next day we wake up, they're still there. Like, God damn it. Like, where are you coming from?
Johnie, now that you're back, you'll be in the rotation. We'll be on your channel next week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If I remember how to do it. We'll see.
Well, I still have a few openings for personal readings in September before I go to the Catskills at the end of the month. So anybody would like to schedule a personal reading with me, you can go to JennLynnTarot.com, or you can book in October if you want even a wider selection of options.
Yep. So that's all I got.
Look at little Becca Bella trying to act like she's all sweet and innocent. Yes. She has followed Lucy around all day. Like every time I see Lucy, here's Bella right behind her.
I'm gonna send her little baby horns so we can be. You want to be twins?
It's just so funny. Like Lucy will get up here, and then you see this little head pop up right here, a little munchkin head.
She's so adorable. They are getting big though, Jenny.
They're getting taller, and little bellies on them.
It's like, can't you just stay tiny like you were when you first got brought home?
They grow so fast. It's amazing how fast they are. But I give them belly kisses because they got cute bellies. That's what you do to kittens. I just put lipstick on her belly.
What are you doing to me, Mom?
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah. Now you're gonna tell me, aren't you? They're so sweet. I trimmed their claws for the first time. I call it pruning. I pruned their claws, and Bella was actually very good with me trimming her little claws. She wasn't too squirmy.
Aww.
Stewie is really growing. He's gotten quite tall already.
Oh. Well, I think we've
chatted for 15 minutes.
I know,
I'm so excited to have Johnie back. It's like
me too. I've missed him. It's not this. It's texting is not the same as seeing Johnie. You know, even though our text messages can get pretty ridiculous at times, but it's so funny. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys. I'll have to share it on my community page. If you do not follow Randy Rainbow on YouTube, please do so. He is hilarious. Adrian from Red Lentil Healing shared one of his new music videos with us the other day, and it was just, I watched it like 4 times. I couldn't stop laughing. Fuck this guy. I was laughing so hard. I couldn't stop laughing. But I'll have to
Patricia.
Thank you. I'll have to show it on share it on the community page. But he also wrote a book too. I have it on in my Amazon cart. I need to buy it. It's called Playing with Myself, and that's his new book that just came out this year. So I'm curious to read that one. But he is a very talented. I mean, he does musical theater. He does comedy. Like, it's just, he's a funny guy. So
I love his videos.
I love those pink glasses that he wears that are like cat-eyed, and he's always like batting his lashes. And he called Merrick Garland as like Judy. He called him Judy in that video. I was like laughing.
He's got a good singing voice. You know, he's touring now and doing
he's
his
a
songs.
Broadway performer. You know what? And as a matter of fact, I went and I looked up his tour dates. And in California, he's only up in Northern California. He's up in, he comes here in October, but it's like up in Sonoma. And I'm like, that's a damn long drive. And I am not about to go hop on a plane to go stay in expensive ass Sonoma to go watch Randy Rainbow. I mean, I love you, Randy, but
I think the cats changed the lights again on the Christmas tree.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they have. They pressed the button. Sorry guys, hang on.
It's festive.
I know it drives people crazy on camera when they're strobing.
Is this the 3rd year that the Christmas tree has been up? 3rd or 4th year now? I lost track.
I have to get it back to still lights. Is that it? Maybe if I hook it on my table, they can't press the button. They did that in the after show last week. They changed it because it does color changing and stuff. And Johnny's like, oh, nope, that's still
That's what it did. I'm like, wait, did you change the lights? You get new lights? Did they break them all? It's like,
Jenny, how long has the tree been up now?
about as long as we've been doing our Sunday night lives.
No. Has it?
Yeah, I think so. So it'll be 3 years in October. Yeah, because it was like the day after Halloween I put it up. Oh, man. Quit that.
Becca's over there like, disco kitty. She wants to go to disco.
Yeah, instead of disco duck, disco cat. Oh, my goodness.
So while we're being petty, guys, can we do a petty question?
If we can't nobody else do it.
I know, right? So since we're talking about Christmas trees and all that stuff. So you know how Republicans have been wanting to ban books. They've been banning books everywhere. Like, you know, there's a whole thing in Florida where they banned a whole bunch of books, and some of them were math books. I'm like, how can you ban a math book? Like, you know, but so a couple of parents got real petty, which I applaud. I applaud these parents because they have a list of books that they're banning from public schools. And it has to have sexually explicit content, violence, and all this other stuff. So I think it was 3 or 4 parents that signed a petition or whatever, and they banned the Bible from that county. They banned the Bible. And
Yeah,
now
That
Now
counted.
they're
They first went after the Diary of Anne Frank, so
Yeah.
now they got the Bible banned. Thank you, Joanne.
So they went after those are the religious extremists that went after the Diary of Anne Frank. You know that it was the petty people like us that are just like, you know, we're going to ban the Bible because it fits all the criteria. Sexually explicit content, check. Incest, check. Rape, check. Bestiality, check. Murder, check. You know what I mean? It's got everything. It covers all the bases and some. So now they're losing their freaking minds out there because they've banned the Bible from the libraries. So I don't even know how to word it because it's like y'all opened up this can of worm. You can't just like get your can of worm and like just start picking up one worm. You know,
I want to start with, will it hold? Will they keep the Bible banned from the school library? Thank you, Hope.
Okay.
Let's start there. Will it hold? And if it doesn't, go find a copy of Satan's Bible and have it put in the library too. Cards flying out. I got a cat fight going on under my chair. I keep getting paws coming out around my ankles because they're bristling.
I mean, it's like you got that big of a problem. You can always go to a Motel 6 or something. They got those things all over. The dollar store has a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you, Margaret.
Oh my gosh. Which, you know, I think that's something petty I would do. Kind of like that guy in Florida when there was this one, I think it was in Tampa, Florida or Orlando, where the city council had passed something to where they were praying openly every single day, holding mass or whatever, prayer before work. So this guy started trolling them and went in there and started praying to Satan every day until they dropped that stupid ruling. And it's like, yeah, this is what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, so.
Ooh, I think it's going to hold. There's unfinished work with it, though. So we haven't heard the last of this yet because this really rattled everybody. It rattled everybody. Like, oh, surprise! Well, let's just look at these books over here, and you know, all your little church books and everything. There's a little bit of a waffling going on. You know, judgment being cast down. But it's like, okay, here's devil's in the details, right? And they get strength on their side. So I get them holding steady for a while. Then I get like something sneaky flaring up and another fight coming. And maybe they do try to get the devil's Bible in there because then they walk away. They abandon the idea of trying to get the Bible back in. I think it'll hold.
Put the Quran in there. Put every religious textbook in there. Every single one.
Scientology, put all the crazy books in.
Go ahead. What did you get, Johnny?
They're going to secure some support. I got 9 of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So to get it to stay, they're going to secure some support. There's going to be a lot of groups, though. Thank you, Jeffrey. With the 3 of Cups and the 10 of Cups, a lot of groups that are coming out saying, hey, this is not fair. My religious this and my religious that. Okay. They have a whole store full of religious stuff. Go to Ruth's if you're down south, or Michael's sometimes has got that. So you can find a Bible anywhere. You don't need it in the library, even though it should be there too, just like everything else, because it's a catalog of books. So why not have that one? But why not have all the rest of the ones you don't want? Anyhow, soapbox. But the 7 of Swords and the Justice, they're going to protest and take this to court and all of that type of stuff. They're going to make a really big stink about this, though. But your word of warning is the 3 of Swords. So sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. but it's not going to actually work. You're going to be very disappointed. The word of solace, God answers all prayers, and sometimes the answer is no. The Four of Cups, you have to accept the reality whether you want to or not. This, mind you, because it ends in strength, so it's going to hold. You created this. And if you created this, eat it.
Yep. Eat it till you choke on that shit. Till you're broken. Because, and it's not just the libraries, Johnie. Because they had Bibles in public schools. So the parents got pissed off and said, you want to start playing with our kids and what they can and can't learn, ban the Bible. Ban the Bible. And based on the same requirements that they had, guess what? They had to take the Bible out of the public schools, out of the public school library, because it fits the criteria that you laid out. You know what I mean?
Mind you, when I was in the 11th grade, they gave me an ancient history course where Jesus of Nazareth was a character in that book. So if you believe in Jesus, great. If you don't, then you were just taught about his life and as if he was a real person. And okay, balance that out though. Can we talk about the Prophet Muhammad, Elijah? Can we talk about some of these? No. We have to talk about Jesus in the ancient history course. Okay.
But only the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus, Johnie.
Yeah, it didn't offend me, but I'm just like, this is not necessarily balanced.
I get that it holds. There might be some trouble there at first, and then a woman that might change something. So I don't know if this goes before a female judge or whatever, but there's a change here. Something's going to have to be changed with how they're doing this. So it's. Y'all opened up that can of worm. Y'all opened up that, like, they want to open up the can of worms and just cherry pick the worms and then just put the lid back on it and shove it away. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how this works. So, like, I was telling Johnie and Jenny, I got so mad because there's this idiot that, when the Republican, talking point, I don't know if it comes from the think tanks or what, they all jumped on the bandwagon of banning books. And this one guy that was running for state, I don't remember what I think it was Arizona, was running for like a local level government office in Arizona. And he went after one of my favorite books, saying that it was sexually explicit. And I'm like, how? There's one chapter and it's like a paragraph. Like it's like they find the one thing that's trending and then go after it. And it's like, if you had read that book, if you had read the entire series, you would have known that that's the most tame book in that whole series.
Well, I mean, read the Bible,
Scarlet Letters. He had a woman out of wedlock, but how many people had to read the Scarlet Letter in? Was it junior high or high school? I want to say it was middle school.
And I went to school in Florida where they teach you to be stupid. And I read the Scarlet Letter. So like, Florida schools where you're guaranteed to come out of there dumb, and I read that. I read the Diary of Anne Frank. And now like this revisionist history. Now they don't want to call slavery. Now it's forced. What are they wanting? Forced.
They used to call it indentured servitude. That way you didn't say slavery.
No, Johnie, now they don't want to call it slavery. They want it called forced relocation. Forced relocation. That's what they're trying to call slavery.
Immigrants. That's what they
Yeah, I tell you, if they had their way, they would like to pack up anyone of color and ship them back to whatever country they think they came from, forgetting that a lot of them are born here.
I mean, you know what? As long as they come in too, because you weren't born over here neither.
That's right. That's right.
So here's where the rubber meets the road on that. Say Republicans had a little magic wand, they can just round up all the Browns, the Hispanics, everybody, round them all up and just send them back. Magic wand, it just happened. Guess what? Who's going to slaughter your food? Who's going to go freaking pick your vegetables? Because Tony Baloney over there down the street ain't going to get paid $8 or $5 an hour with no benefits to go work at his ass in a hot ass field picking vegetables for you all day. It's not going to happen, so it's a scapegoat. That's all it is. But anyways, off my soapbox. Next to the petty questions, next petty question I have. The poetic justice of watching Mitch McConnell. So Mitch McConnell, I guess, was on TV the other day saying that he doesn't think that they're going to win the Senate. And he's saying that it was, candidate quality. But I don't know. I just kind of find poetic justice in that, and watching how his stolen Supreme Court justices and their rulings have significantly backfired on him, and it's costing him the midterms. Because you can't tell me it's just bad quality candidate. Y'all done stripped women of their rights.
Midas Touch has a new T-shirt out, which I need to order. And they said, don't call it November, election day. Call it Rovember. So it's. I know that it's really bad. The more that we hear about these terrible stories coming out of these states that are just. What I'd like to look at maybe is because there's a lot of QAnon conspiracy theorists, people that don't believe the election was fair and all that have gotten through in the primaries. But can we just check in, will the majority of those be defeated in the main election?
The QAnoners?
The QAnons and the election deniers. Will the majority of them be defeated? Let's ask it that way, so we don't have to look at each one. Will the majority of those be defeated in the November? The majority of the crazies, because I got to believe, people that voted for Liz Cheney are not going to vote for a QAnon election denier. They're going to probably vote for a Democrat or not vote at all, which is just as good.
But I also want to look at Mitch McConnell, because you can't tell me that he doesn't realize, shit, that carrot, they weren't supposed to catch the carrot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they weren't supposed to repeal Roe yet. It's like, yeah. I mean, how many times is he probably beating himself up that he didn't go ahead and put Merrick Garland on the Supreme Court?
And then with them to be so brazen and come out and just list everything that they want to revisit to overturn, it's like, okay, yeah.
I get Democrats are victorious. It sends a message. A lot of people will be shifting and changing parties and who they're voting for. They're shifting it around. So the nostalgic diehard Republicans that vote is much smaller, much smaller. So they've got problems. They got a lot of endings, a lot of people, a lot of regrets, a lot of people that won't go through after the main election.
I get whatever coalition group you want to call them. And we've said this many times before, but it has to be said again. This is not a large group. They're just a loud group. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you look at it, when they say something, our media responds. That's how Donald Trump got to run free, pretty much, when he was campaigning. He had no campaign staff. He had no buses, no none of that, because he didn't need none of that. All he had to do was tweet something and the news gave him free press. So it's kind of like that here. So this little group here now meets the Five of Pentacles. So they're out in the cold. There's some rejection of them. However, reason I said all that, there's a few that kind of get through. There's a possible one woman and two men or something like that here with that Three of Pentacles too. The problem is the Devil and the Hierophant, light and the dark. They don't need a lot of them. They need the loud ones. Marjorie Taylor Greene is more talked about than Adam Schiff. So it's like you got you got people that you should be paying attention to, media, who are trying to do something, the Bernie Sanders of the world, the Nina Turners of the world. No, let's go to the Boberts of the world, because they're better for the click rate. They're better for the attention span when it comes to reporting. So yes, they are going to be diminished greatly, but it's not the numbers, it's the message that I say focus on it. But the numbers are going to go down, though.
I get the same thing. The messaging, the negotiating, what they're talking about, dead. So
I mean, even Chuck Grassley, an old white dude that's been in the Senate forever, had Quackanon crap coming out of his mouth on Fox News and saying, the IRS is going to come after middle class America with their guns. They're going to come in with guns into your houses. It was crazy.
The FBI
conspiracy.
Yeah, and come get you.
They're going to come get you. It's like, please go get them all. The IRS doesn't carry guns. Just stupid. So for entertainment purposes, only YouTube.
But I mean, it's the Republican magic trick. Let me create the boogeyman. Here you go. Now hate it, and then they will.
I guess. Well, I mean, we're still kind of early. We're still waiting for the immigrant caravan to come in from Mexico, so we can have the IRS and the FBI to worry about when the world's going to hell. Never mind, Mango Mussolini had a whole bunch of national security stuff in an undisclosed location in his personal residence at his club. But okay, so what is? I want to know, like, does Mitch McConnell recognize that the Supreme Court is going to play a significant role in losing them the midterms?
That his Supreme Court picks will cause them to lose power again.
I was telling Johnie and Jenny before we went live that there was a new Fox News poll that came out, and it was insane. It showed the amount of people that are leaving the Republican Party. So registered Republican voters. It was women leaving at +8, suburban women leaving at +9. I don't know if they had Hispanic women on there. They had a whole list. Like, people are just leaving the Republican Party. And then the one with the most were the Democrats. It said +28D. So the Democrats gained +28. Was dads, Republican dads, leaving the Republican Party. So you can't tell me that.
There's fighting and bickering going on right now over the Supreme Court. Yay, we got our 3 judges. Yay, so they're going to do our bidding, right? They're the emissaries for us and everything. Very pleased with that, Mitch was. But now he's got this new idea, and I think he may be a little bit alone in that. Like, there's not many with him in that this is their legacy. And they're always going to be out in the cold because they put the devil on the Supreme Court. He's anxious about it. But I think he knows there won't be any healing. There won't be any fixing it until Mitch is gone. So he's about ready to, call it quits anyway. So bye-bye, Mitch.
I just think it's poetic justice from where I sit. Yeah, we get screwed with a bunch of inadequate judges that shouldn't be there. And I think if we had an administration that really had a backbone, there was something to be done about these people, But you did that to yourself, Mitch. Sorry. Go ahead, Johnie. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I mean,
See, we missed you, Johnie.
It starts with 2 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands. These are the kind of reads that make me just, how can you not know? Because it's like you throw your money in a swimming pool. You want to see if it floats because you don't know. But it floats to the top. Your dollar bills float to the top. And then you pick it out, and then you're like, oh crap, it got wet. How can you not know? You just threw it in water. And it's like you go and you do horrible things. You run towards the Medusa. And you're not at the front of the line, so everything's okay. You know, the other Gates, and the Papadopoulos, and all those people, Michael Cohen, everybody's going down in front of you, and you still run towards the Medusa. So everything you get, you have earned. This ain't even nothing about deserve and karma. You've earned this. You've worked towards this, which you've been running towards the whole time. 5 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles. There is a lot of conflict, a lot of dust being kicked up in the air because they have a balance problem. What's the balance problem? Everything. Donald Trump done effed up your whole show.
Donald Trump and a religious minority that wants to set the country back to like the Dark Ages.
But you took them and you put them on the lead, and you said, come this way. Hate this person, hate this person, hate this person. And now all of the sane Republicans, if you will, are looking at y'all like, what in the world are y'all doing? I walked into a place one time. It was a diner, I guess you can call it. And it has the Republican vibe because you walk in, there's, you know, a bunch of elderlies and everybody got coffee in a newspaper. It's one of them type of places. And everybody white. And you can tell a Republican, at least I can, because I grew up around them. That's all I've ever worked around. But they're sitting there and they're talking Donald Trump. And they're all embarrassed. There's like 4 old men sitting at the table. This is their meeting spot. And they're all embarrassed. And one of them said, yeah, it makes you ashamed to be ashamed, mind you. That's probably a strong word for him. Ashamed to be an American. Not a Republican. A whole American. Because of that man. So yeah. That's what you've earned. There you go. The same people left you because you left them behind.
At least those people, whether, you know, our ideologies are extremely different, but it's not because they hate the same person I hate. It's because they have a brain and 2 eyeballs and are not drinking the Kool-Aid. You know, it's not the cult mentality. Like I get, yeah, he recognizes that it's going to be a very difficult election, and they're just the choices that he made by putting people up there. It's like, yo, Mitch, you fucked yourself. Okay.
I got a follow-up question. Yeah. By the way, Becca, your ears tonight, your horns tonight look almost like a bow with the way you've got your hair pulled up in the back. It looks like you've got on a red bow every now and then. I'm like, oh, isn't she Sweetener or Devil Horn bow?
I know I showed you guys, but I didn't show the people on YouTube. So in honor of Johnie with his Medusa, I got this. So it's a planter, right? See? It's a head. But then I put a plant inside of it, and I have named her Medusa. In honor of Johnie, Medusa lives in my house.
Perfect for when you're imitating Ted Cruz.
Oh my God.
So, you know, Grassley, because he's been there forever. He's, you know, in his 80s. He's like, I think, the oldest serving member of Congress now from Midwest state, Iowa. What is Mitch McConnell thinking about what came out of Grassley's mouth? The fact that conspiracy theory crap came out of Grassley's mouth. What does Mitch think of Grassley saying that?
Can you guys cover this one for me? I'm going to refill because my throat is really sore.
Okay. It's like that would have been one of the last people I would expect to hear that kind of crap come out of.
He's lost the grip on his party.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, if he can't even control Grassley.
But I will say, you can't control Donald Trump. So he can't do nothing but fall over to the next person. They'll all sound like him eventually until they get rid of him. I mean, they all kind of sound like him anyway, just in private.
Remember, Grassley was going to handle the electoral votes because they wanted Pence out of there. Grassley was going to take over that role. I'm getting a weird vibe off my cards here. Mitch knows. Grassley's in trouble. What are you getting?
I get, yes, he knows, but he doesn't care. I don't see any despair or disruption or, oh my God, I don't like, no, I get the Lovers and the Temperance is how it starts. So it's like, you know, we're still on the same page. We may say different things in public because like him, love him, hate him, and leave him. You know, I can drown Mitch McConnell in a bucket, but he's not stupid. And well, that's not true either. Anybody that trusts the word of Donald Trump or does not throw him out with the bathwater is stupid. But he's not a fool completely. There's the 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. They're still secure. It ends in the Ace of Swords. So he knows everything that he's going to say, like it's been pre-approved even. So
I think he thinks that Grassley's going to be making license plates in prison. There's something about him, like it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. He is laying low from Grassley. He thinks Grassley's going to regret this and be out in the cold and have new legal things that come up. You get an indictment. For people that he was working and sharing information with, he sees him gone. I think he thinks he's going to end up in jail as an old man. How sad would that be? Wah. Played my little violin.
Yeah. Speaking of people dying and they're in jail in their golden years, Weiselberg.
Not going to die in jail because he's only going to get, 100 days?
100 days and something about time served. They're going to count some of his time served and all this other stuff.
Well, the most he can get is 6 months, but they are like time served and good behavior, whatever, that everybody's expecting he'll serve like 100 days, which is nothing. It's like, my God, if I stole a watermelon at the store, I would get more time than that.
Jen, if you and I did what he did, we would be spending years in prison. Years.
It'd be a life sentence, for us.
Yeah. So, but didn't the judge say that he has to testify against Trump org?
Yes.
Or he's going to throw the book at him and give him like the maximum or something. So even though he's only getting 90 days or 100 days, he still has to go back to trial against Trump org, correct?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like when Flynn and the judge told Flynn, you have to cooperate and we have to see proof of your cooperation to reduce your sentence when he got sentenced. Because remember, he kept sending him back and like, no, you got more to share. What you did was treason. So it's kind of like that. It's like they'll watch him. The judges will watch him, but you got Alvin Bragg in there making him a sweet deal.
Alvin Bragg is dirtier than shit, y'all. They're saying Rikers Island. He's going to Rikers Island?
It would be Rikers in New York, but for 100 days. I mean, Michael Cohen was in there for 3 years. Yeah, well, he got out, the last year because of COVID, but
and see, here's another thing with these white collared, politically connected celebrity criminalists. Who do you know gets sent home for COVID from jail? Well, you know what? Yeah, I know you robbed a bank. I know you did some really shady shit. You were probably involved with the mob, but you know what? It's COVID. We're gonna send you home with an ankle bracelet. Like that's in what world does that happen? Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. But I want to know, like, he's okay. 3 months, right? We'll round it up to 3 months. It's going to be 3 months in prison at Rikers Island. I'm sure it's not going to be a walk in the park. I don't know. I don't even know. It's like, why? Because 3 months seems like, for somebody of his age at Rikers Island.
Yeah. Why did Alvin Bragg agree to the plea deal with such leniency? Because he was facing 15 years. 15 years would have been a life sentence for a 80-year-old man. He was facing up to 15 years. So why did Alvin Bragg?
Why didn't Alvin Bragg
agree to such a lenient? And why isn't that governor removing Alvin Bragg? That's question 2. Oh, and he'll have $1 million fine. Oh, nothing, with that kind of money.
I mean,
yeah, I'd like to know, has Alvin Bragg come across the Trump family in the past, or worked as a lawyer for him or something? Because I'm getting, he's supporting, there's nostalgia and the family connection in with Trump. So he's connected somehow with the family. So, he's going to disrupt this thing, and he knows something, but he's going to disrupt this whole legal process. The entire legal process, he's going to try to block it all the way. But he's the hangman. It's almost like he's self-sacrificing himself. Thank you, Super Truthful.
I wonder, can
somebody talk to him? Somebody threatened him. Somebody manipulated him. There was some kind of threat, verbal threat.
Can he just be recalled or something? Because,
the governor could recall him.
The governor could?
Uh-huh.
The candidates for governor said that they were, or the Democratic ones said that they were. Okay. That was like one of their campaign promises or whatever. Right. I get the Empress and the Page of Pentacles. So there's like the birth or the producing of financial documents or financial evidence, something like that. So I guess they're trying to just, spark a deal. You give me something that I can take somewhere else, and I won't throw the book completely at you, or give me some sort of evidence, give me a lead, give me something. The secrets in the family with the High Priestess and the 10 of Cups, and the Emperor and the Ace of Cups, because he knows you have it. So this is not a thing where we have to go through a whole. Don't give me the song and dance and the Who Shot John. Just give me the evidence, and then we can all move on. You're still going to go to jail, but you're not going to go to jail for the rest of your life, type thing. But he wants evidence. What he's going to do with it, I don't know, but that's.
I guess that there's something very important or significant within the organization itself that he needs to answer to provide evidence and success to bring some sort of luck or opportunity there. So there's your organization, answers and access, and then the success of it here. So he's being lenient because of this. So organization, the network, and then your answer and your access. So maybe it has to do with something bigger, not just him, but this in itself, this organization, this group of people, this congregation, this party. This is a very large body of people. So I don't know what Trump was doing with Trump org, if he was using it as a slush fund for campaign, because this is a huge group of people. So I don't know if he was using it for like a slush fund for campaign or rallies or parties but it has to do around this organization and network here. So to get answers to that. So it's almost like, and maybe it's all the heat that he's getting on him now that, so I don't know. Okay. So going back to that Fox News poll that I was telling you guys about earlier, that it showed the Republican Party bleeding out voters. I don't think that accounted for independents, because the way that it sounded like only Republicans. And if I can just get on my soapbox real quick, I am not going to sit here and cry about Liz Cheney losing her election. I'm not here to rehabilitate her. She's a terrible human being. Okay, like Liz Cheney is a horrible fucking human being. She did the bare minimum of being like, okay, coup bad. Like that's the bare minimum of her oath. I do not understand why the media is on this Liz Cheney rehabilitation tour as if ever she voted with Donald Trump 99.99% of the time. Mm-hmm. She was totally on board with the extremist legislation and ideology, not just with Trump, but going back since she started working in office, so it's like now there's, oh my God, Liz Cheney, the party. Good. Get rid of her. Let the crazies keep coming in, because that drives the real sane people further away from the Republican Party. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that's good, because now the independents, which usually tend to vote Republican, perhaps will be more lenient to go Democrat, because the party is just like, they're like on the bus that caught on fire, falling off a cliff, about to hit the bottom of the ocean, like, So, so I want to know, will independents this election, will they steer away from Republican? Like, will they go more Democrat, the independents?
Because a huge majority of voters are independents.
Yep. And it's just like the crazier the Republican Party gets, the more they turn off independents. And it's like, keep going, keep pouring gasoline on your fire over there. Give Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lowen Boebert the megaphone and make them the talking heads for your party. Go ahead.
Becca Bellatrix is just pacing around. She can't find any trouble to get into. She needs some little devil horns.
I need to send this one. My little apprentice in training. No. Go after my own heart.
I laugh at her. She's got an on and an off switch, and there's no in between. It's like she's either on or she's zonked out.
Yeah, I'm not down with this whole Liz Cheney rehabilitation tour. Like she's, like she's the best thing ever. No, that woman is a piece of shit. Like she went against her own sister for being gay. Like who would do that? Mm-mm. She's anti-abortion. Like she's no.
So I'm asking you about which way are they going to support, and I'm getting a lot of them. They're watching the investigations and everything. There may be a lot that just kind of walk away. They're like, okay, this just needs to all just get blown up and start over again, kind of thing. But I get a lot of them will cling to the Democrats and vote with the Democrats just to protect themselves, because they don't like what's going on, and those that are seeking the truth, that are listening to the truth. And I get a lot of them venture away from Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
I get it's not a majority. Going to one place is kind of scattered. I get the Seven of Swords and the Sun. There is a strategy to get independent voters, though, at least by some. But the Three of Wands and the Eight of Wands, it's scattered. There is no real final place because I get the Fool and the Eight of Cups. It's like some of them go Republican route, some go Democrat route, but I got a lot of like not write-ins, but people that are not prominent on the ticket type thing. They don't want to do the lesser of two evils. They would rather go with this person here and sort of throw a real wrench in the numbers game. So that's what I'm getting though. So it kind of just goes to who they want to vote for, and it's not necessarily the one or the other type thing. It's that thing in the middle.
I get that the independents will tend to lean more towards the group that is not manipulating and doing really shady shit and is trustworthy. So, in other words, are they drinking the Kool-Aid? Because the people that are drinking the Kool-Aid swear that everybody else is lying while the rest of the world is going, no, dude, this guy is blue. It ain't purple like you're saying, but okay. I don't know. These wackos.
Bored.
Oh no, what is she doing?
She's bored. She came over to see me. No, now she's got people to see, places to do. For me. She's like, nope, I gotta go play.
Sorry, I had to take a drink. Oh my God. So, okay, we looked at A.G. Bragg.
So
All right.
can we ask, is the single biggest deciding factor in the elections Roe v. Wade, overturning Roe v. Wade? Is that the biggest factor?
I'll ask mine. What will be the biggest deciding factor for voters this midterm? That's what I'm going to ask.
Or is it just tired of the lies and the January 6th? Joe's coming back up in the polls, so that's looking good.
I'm going to stop right here. I got the storks. What does that tell you? Pregnancy. Storks bring the babies, deliver the babies. Pregnancies.
Let's just spell out Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is modeled in the Rider-Waite to be the woman of the old crone is what they called her, and this is the one who has had the abortions and the miscarriages and the hard time through life type of thing too.
So I expanded. There's your pregnancies, health with the tree, and then with the whip, sex. So sexual health, health that is being brought under criticism and abuse here. So because the whip is sex and abuse. So yeah, it's around women's issues and women's health issues, women's sexual issues coming under attack and abuse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Roe v. Wade.
American women dissatisfied, the shift of the power and burdening them, making them very emotional, coming out in force, seeking truth and illumination.
I pulled 10 cards. I stopped after 2. I got the Queen of Swords and the Empress. So yeah, I'll just stop there.
Yeah.
There's your births and fertility and all that stuff.
Which,
and the next card was the Queen of Wands. I mean, the country is majority female, so maybe that's not the type. Then again, I ain't running for office.
That's right.
You got more.
There's more women than men, and women outlive men and everything.
And here's another thing I don't understand. You got a bunch of old crockety ass white dudes that ain't seen their dicks in 15 years who have no idea how a woman's body works, couldn't tell you where the ovaries are, where the fallopian tubes are, where the cervix is, couldn't tell you any of it. And yet these are the men who are not doctors, by the way, telling a woman what they can and cannot do with their bodies. Because my religious belief says this, fuck your religious belief, because according to your Bible, it says life begins at first breath, not at heartbeat.
Well, according to my Constitution of the United States of America, there's a separation of church and state.
Church and state. Yep. Amen, sister. Amen. So I got a question. Moving away from, I should have worn my fuck the patriarchy shirt, but whatever. Trump. That letter to the DOJ, like, hey. So my people, okay, the political heat is a little bit too hot. It's too hot. We got to tone it down. I can tone it down. Okay? I got very nice words. I can tone it down. You don't want me to make a mistake, do you? Like, he was threatening the DOJ. Like, to me, it sounded like a threat to me.
It was a threat.
We need to tone it down, but
I could inflame it some more. I could inflame it some more.
I have a whole can of gas.
You just admitted that you incite riots, is what you just said.
He's a dumbass, Johnny. He's a dumbass. This is a guy that you could give him a box of crayons and say, pick out the red one, and he wouldn't know how.
This is the guy that, like, he said, okay, they planted documents in Mar-a-Lago. Well, I declassified everything. So you declassified planted documents,
like your sentence needs to make sense from the beginning to the end. If you're going to tell one lie, at least make the whole sentence that lie instead of breaking it up into sections and telling four
and changing the lie.
God,
it's like you got to be Spider-Man, leaping from this to this to this to this to this, because the lie keeps changing every 10 minutes.
But this is why he shows up as the fool. We didn't call him that. Well, not gonna say ever. We do now, but this is how it comes up. And the tarot, every single tarot reader I watch, this is what they get for the same person. It'd be different because people program cards. You can program your card to say whatever. No, everybody gets the fool for Donald Trump because
he a dumbass.
If he walks like a duck, I mean,
the cards are saying he's a dumbass.
But, I mean,
I saw Peggy in the comments. She said, "What about his big dick energy?" I was like, "Girl, no, he ain't seen that." You mean his little, when you go to the store, you get a bag of Cheetos and you got all the crumbs on the bottom? That's Trump's pee-pee right there, like the crumbs on the bag.
That's what I'm going to think of now when I go with the bag. Catch all those little trunks. Is that what we're doing?
Big dick energy, my ass. Oh my God.
I mean, he flat out said from the get-go, I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and nothing would happen. So he knows he can get away with crime. He tells you every time he commits one.
Big dick energy. That's what that crazy lady is. Was she in Arizona when she was like saying that Donald Trump has big dick energy? It's like, girl, that's like the scraps at the bottom of a Cheeto bag, man. Like, no.
It's big truck energy. People who drive the trucks and their tires are like 85 feet off the ground. Mm-hmm. That's the type of energy. You're compensating for something. Big truck energy. That's the king.
So I want to know, is he going to get, did the DOJ view that letter as
a threat?
What's the word that they use though? When you interfere in an investigation,
intimidation, obstruction.
Is it obstruction when you're like witness tampering or whatever? But it's not really a witness because it's the actual Department of Justice. So he's trying to
influence.
I would say obstruction through intimidation. I could set something off if you don't. I mean, it's kind of like that Comey call. Hey, could you? Flynn's a good guy. Can you back off of this?
Mm-hmm. But in this instance, though, there was a veiled threat of more political violence against DOJ and FBI.
Well, it'd be more sedition against our government.
Also adds to his case.
So
I'm just going to ask if that letter brings any more heat legally on him.
Oh yeah, like the Vienna sausage down the hallway. Not even a hallway, a big, huge, empty warehouse. Chuck a Vienna sausage in there.
There's a comedian named Adele Gibbons, I believe is her name. That was her joke originally, way back in the day, like in the early 90s. And talking to some man in the audience, she's like, "That's like giving a whale a Tic Tac." It causes a burden and it adds to the case. So there's your 10 of Wands and your Chariot. The Chariot is a thing you have to add up all the pieces first before the Chariot actually moves forward, because there are no reins here. Like the person's not commanding the Sphinx. You have to get everything on the same page. So my problem with all of this is it's not like they're making a case out of his letter. They're just adding it to other stuff and it gets watered down in the process. But I mean, they got something they are going to bring against him, but it's not that. Which I'd say do that and make it a separate thing. That way you can have 99 cases instead of just 98. That's what I say. But.
Yeah. I get they're watching him. They did take it as a threat because they changed their security and had their security moved around because of that letter, because they know he could, start another riot thing that he would regret it because he shared that letter. So now they've got it on record like, hey, you communicated that. Now we've got it, in writing. But they changed their security because of it. So it's just one more detail to Johnny's point in the investigation. And I do get the, there's indictments coming. One of the indictments might have a change in it that references that threat. Because you know how they have speaking indictments? There may be a change in it that references that threat.
So I got man, woman, camera, TV. No, just kidding. Fish, house, and whip. So someone here, I don't know, I asked, I was like, does DOJ take this, will view this as a threat? This man here has an abundance or a lot of something that's very solid and structured, but it shows a pattern. There's a pattern. So I don't know if they take it as intimidation, but to go in with what you guys were saying, maybe it adds to the case because it shows a pattern.
Yeah.
Especially if they were stupid. Well, he did. He put it in a freaking letter.
Inciting a riot. Put it in writing.
But he didn't write, so somebody else was a filter or a possible filter and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't say this. Nope. Write it down.
Nope. Write it down. Like, dude, I was seeing on the news that he can't find a defense lawyer for just this. For just this. Nobody touches him. Nobody wants to go near that shit. Like, man, you don't pay lawyers. You go drag us through the mud. You got that whole circus clown show coming out of the Goofy Tunes, bus over there with those two crazy ladies. Like, all your other lawyers are ready to go to jail. Like, we're not. No.
Perry Mason, no. Johnny Carson. What was his name? Johnny Cochran, Perry Mason, Matlock. They all dead. So I don't know what you're going to do. He got
that one lawyer to handle what's going on in Georgia for him.
Well, he's got the two that are handling this case here with the just for the classified documents that he stole. Those two, they're in trouble now because they told the FBI, put their names to paper saying, nope, we gave you everything. Now they're in freaking trouble. So there goes 2 more of Trump's attorneys about to have to get criminal defense lawyers because they added to the list.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Is he bankrupting the RNC because they're covering his legal bills? Is he bankrupting them?
Uh-oh.
Well, because they told him, they're like, if you run, we're going to stop paying your legal bills. Which one? Here's the thing. One of his genius lawyers that he got from 1-800 layaway lawyers for the classified document situation. She proposed on a television interview. Well, if you just, give them all the stuff that you have and tell them that you're not going to run, they'll drop all the charges. It's like, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
That's not, you don't get to
lawyer that doesn't know squat.
Oh my God. So
his lawyer says this.
This girl lawyer, she was on Fox News and she's like, I advised him, like, if you just announce that you're not going to run, all this will go away. It's like, no.
Where did he go to school? Trump University?
Probably. Got a legal degree from Trump.
But I robbed the bank, but here's all the money, so drop the charges. Like,
She got her degree at the vending machine at the hotel.
with a coupon.
Probably a Trump hotel at that.
She was going for the toll and got the degree.
Maybe Melania will introduce her to the goat herder, Baba the goat herder. Somebody's got some money and send her to a better school.
Oh my God. Is he bankrupting the RNC?
No. There's phases to this. So you have the RNC at its face value that is supporting Donald Trump because he's still popular in the news anyway. So you have that, and you have the little child with behavior issues there. So you have the party sort of supporting him there. But there is another layer to the RNC where the serious money comes in for different people. So it's still the Illuminati and, all 666 with them still. So they're very, actually, that's not fair. That's a good number. But they are very, very small circled still, the Koch brother money, the Mercer money, because Mercer dropped Trump. So you still have all of that demonistic money. So he is causing some problems, but they aren't bankrupt, I would say.
Yeah. I'm getting they're having to watch their money, like watch what they're doing with it now. So because he is burdening the crap out of them, and they would like to cut him off. They just can't do it because they had an agreement. But there's something new legally coming up that's going to cause big problems for the RNC, and that's going to cause a lot of anxiety. And there's a new investigation that's coming up that we don't even know about yet, and that's going to involve a lot of people like being put out in the cold that they in another imbalance in the money. There's a whole bunch of people involved in another investigation coming up.
What are you laughing at, Johnie?
PhD from KFC. That's hilarious to me.
Is he bankrupting the DNC? I get man, writer, and keys. So a very important man. A man that visits, that's very important. A man that delivers something is very important. The messenger, that's very important. He's a very important messenger. Yes. Because they keep getting news and deliveries about this one bitch with bills. So every time you turn around, him or one of his kids, you're bailing him out. It's like, okay.
Can we check in and just ask, now that they've raided Mar-a-Lago or searched Mar-a-Lago, is there any indictment coming directly for Trump prior to the midterms now?
Okay.
Anything. Obstruction of justice, anything. Always good to check in, see what the pulse says. It'll be like, Melania, don't tell him anything. I'll put you in the golf course.
Next to what's her name?
Next to, that's what he probably calls her. What's her name? Because he can't remember everybody's name.
Oh, mercy. That was too. Can you know what? That was kind of in his tableau too that I did that showed his raid and showed his all that. I told Jenn that it showed somebody. I said in the reading somebody was going to fall, and I said, "Watch her," because it was about him. The tableau was about him, so I assumed that's who I was talking about. I said, "Watch your health. Something's wrong," because I get the strength in house tower, which means you're going to fall. So you're going to have a fall, like a leg given out or something like that. Wasn't him. And then I've seen like a short-term game, but if you look down the line, it's 10 of swords, a woman, 9 of cups, a man. So it's like the death of a woman pleases the man. It's like, good God, I'm not doing those kind of spreads ever again. That was a little too involved. Like it told all your business.
It's like, stop committing crimes, man. I mean, how hard can it be? You know what I mean?
I mean, it kind of piggybacks on that how do you sleep at night thing. Like, why can't you just not do bad stuff? Just not. Just, I don't want to do it. Okay. I see somebody walking their dog. I have no urge to go over and kick it. Like, it's not hard to not do horrible things.
I'm getting a yes. I'm getting they're climbing to higher ground with all the information they've got. It's kind of a little bit of a 50-50 whether they'll indict before the midterms. But they're looking like whether or not they would regret it. But I'm getting indictments for like 3 people before the midterms, and I asked, is Trump one of them? And I pulled a yes card.
Ace of Wands too.
That would be, I mean, like, can we just have a repeat of that 1 week all over again from now until the midterms, where every day it's like breaking news, breaking news, breaking news? Like, yes,
that was so much fun.
I will say, I stand slightly chastened and rebuked. I will say, because I have zero faith in him getting his comeuppance. Never mind Justice Department. Oh, Justice Department don't do that. Donald Trump is an anomaly. He is different than everybody, as the devil sits over my shoulder. He is different than everybody. He is not meant to face justice the same way as everybody else. There's something he needs to learn or something he needs to go through or whatever the case may be. Yes, he's ruining the lives of everybody else in the world, not just this country, the world. But at the same time, he's got a different path to walk in. We can't map it out because we ain't his God.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't care that people die. He just doesn't care.
But it was nice that you saw a sliver, as justice also sits over my shoulder. It's nice that you saw a sliver of karma or justice or something, that somebody did something, raided him, not told him, hey, turn over evidence, because he wasn't going to do that. He would have had a salt and pepper shaker and would have went to town. But
no, John, he would have been a lemonade stand. And at Mar-a-Lago selling classified documents for 25 cents.
Make sure you eat it before you walk away.
I
did the Ace of Wands and the Hermit. There's a new investigation. Now, this would be a confirmation of yes for indictments, because I got the Ace of Swords too. I caution, because it always says something horrible is coming his way. And this time, well, it did. This is why I say stand slightly chastened and rebuked. But there is a new investigation for sure before the midterms. He shows up twice here. So it's about his administration and his personal dealing or something of that nature too. Because this I got him for president, this I got him for personal. So we'll see. But it causes some consternation. 5 of Cups. So we shall see.
I don't think he's ever going to go to jail. Simply for the simple fact that, not only do we have the national security risk that he posed with the massive leakage of all that stuff down in Mar-a-Lago, and God knows who touched it or was around it or whatever. But somebody, even though he's got the attention span of a gnat, you cannot put him in prison simply because of the national security issues, which I say, throw his ass in motherfucking Gitmo or Alcatraz is vacant. They're not put his ass in jail.
Isolate him
Just for that, but it's not going to happen. I get that there's a woman working very hard on it. She's got a lot of work, difficult work here, but there's a woman that's working really hard on it. She's very smart, a woman that investigates, a woman that is very crafty and smart, resourceful, but she's working hard. So I don't know who that is. I don't know if a woman over at DOJ.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I get. But so here's why did he have those classified documents at Mar-a-Lago? Because we know he don't read. We know he doesn't read.
Yeah, why would he take them from a meeting? And the people that were over that brought those classified documents over, they're like, oh, but we would say, no, we really need those back, but he would just take them. And I'm like, they're classified documents. You stand in the door and you say, I'm sorry, sir, you cannot take that out of this room.
Tell him I'm not asking you.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, give it back. He's not, the end all be all. For somebody that doesn't read, why did he take all these documents?
Because they definitely weren't for him. A little late night reading while he's eating his cake. There's a woman in connection with this. Some way, somehow. I don't know exactly how, but I do get the Page of Wands. There are some conversations. There may even be some clippings, or this is like news, not necessarily. Page of Pentacles would be like maybe the classified documents because those are worth something. This is more of a news type thing, and maybe the information that she had that's classified has something to do with news, breaking news, forward news, or something like that, like maybe information from other places. But there's a woman connected with that. The Sun and the Chariot, they were for building a partnership with someone as well. 5 of Pentacles and the Devil and the Knight of Cups. There was also a whole lot of lies that were told. Someone was very footloose and fancy free with the truth for something that came up missing. And so I don't know how you steal documents when, because this, again, we said this too. I think we were off camera when we said it, but this is not a one-man thing. There's just not one person. There was a guy who's on the, not intelligence committee, the Jan 6 thing. He says, when you sit there and you read those documents, there's literally a person standing right here.
That's how it is, John. That's how it is.
Here.
That's how it is.
Reach over, he takes it from you, and they have a inventory of everything brought in, and everything they take back out has to match exactly. They stand over you, hovering over you while you read these things. I don't know how it comes up missing, but it does. But why they did it, it ends in the Wheel of Fortune. There was some sort of building partnerships and for overtime gains, where there's just money, property, influence, whatever. But it's to gain something over time.
But I get two reasons. He knew he was going to have legal problems when he left. And once he was defeated, he wanted to do something sneaky and take these, especially the nuclear classified documents, because, he's in bed with the devil. And he knew over time, as things changed, that he would be working with someone on dark money, other foreign leaders. There is a woman that he is working with that he presented documents to. But he wanted people to seek him out because he knew other leaders, is what I'm getting, would know that he would have the stuff. So he wanted other people to seek him out for it.
So he was the crack dealer.
He's a crack dealer, like, that put his shingle out that said, come here, I'll sell it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get anything for sales. I got the dog, the tower, the moon, the key, the snake. I think he took it home as leverage because he knew the amount of trouble he was going to be in for his supporters going to the Capitol, and he thought he could use this as leverage. So let me commit a crime to get myself out of another fucking crime. Like, this is how this guy's mind. Okay, so I just staged an insurrection, but I'm going to take home all this freaking classified shit, and I'm going to threaten you and use this as leverage that if you don't let me off the hook, that I'm going to release it to anybody. It's like, you do realize that you're pointing that gun at your own head, not at the head of the U.S., not at the head of our allies. You're doing it to yourself. Like, so just add on to, just keep, dude, this is like his criminality is like a Jenga. You ever played Jenga?
But is he the one that starts at the bottom? Is he that guy?
Yeah. He's that moron. He's that one moron that tries to take the one off the edge at the very bottom. Oh, God. Idiot. I swear. He's not even
Can we ask who came up with the stealing of the documents? Because he didn't do that on his own. Maybe it was him. Okay. But can we ask who or whose idea was this? Maybe it's several people.
Who packed the boxes?
That's what I'm saying, Peggy. Peggy's saying, I think we took them to hold over the federal government, not to charge. That's what I'm getting. It was his answer out of trouble with the law. That's what I got in my read. And it's like, so let me commit an even worse crime.
Things stamped top secret and stuff. And you're a little aide packing boxes, and you're just like, yeah, okay.
Oh my God, it's like, oh shit, I robbed the bank and they caught me. I might as well go back and blow it up now. Like, what the hell? This guy is so smart. And I make light of this. I really do, because if I sit down and I think about it, my head will explode, because I'm just sitting here wondering how freaked the fuck out our allies are. Our allies. They don't know if he took stuff home that belongs to them. I mean, we know he had
or
stuff
Biden. Like, what's out there that I am only supposed to know? What did he put out there? Like, me and 3 other people in this government are supposed to know this, and he has it photocopied in his hotel somewhere. Like, so I was shuffling, and I just did the reading about the woman and the stealing and the blah 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 and all the missing. All those cards flipped right back out. So if there's some woman here, again, same woman from the Queen of Cups, and then this is the missing stuff, Devil and the 5 of Pentacles, and then I pulled 2 more, or I asked for 1 more, 2 fell out. 5 of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm gonna say there's 2 women and 1 man for sure. And not to beat up on him, but he shows up as the devil. But there's 2 women and 1 man that is in this read. Now, mind you, only pulled 5, 6 cards, so there could be more, but I get 3. people.
There's definitely inside people that helped him with this. And there's also, I think, members of his family. I get that there's a lawyer. There's somebody that's like second in command to him, supporting him. Definitely somebody from the business world that knew about this. So, and I get they tried to block him, and the business world, it feels like Kushner knew, because there's something in there about, there's details about somebody's death in it. So like Khashoggi's, it looks to me like Kushner tried to block him from taking something.
I get someone that was younger that had a deal or a commitment with something that had to do with technology. Someone younger in an agreement, and then there's technology, radiation, something to do with stars, space, that sort of thing. Huh?
Nuclear.
Yep. Because sun is more energy. This is more like nuclear.
Or the microwave technology, that they kept hitting our diplomats with.
Yep. But it's someone younger that had an agreement or a contract or some sort of link to that. So, but now there's speculation on the news too that it was Jared Kushner who's the possible person that ratted him out. And I was thinking about it and I was like, oh shit, because last week we read on that and I remember I got man, ring, and whip. And I was saying that I was like, it's someone in their inner circle. And then I read it and I was like, wait, is it someone that's having sexual relationships or something like that? And then the whole thing came out with the accusations of the guy that's running against Matt Gaetz is accusing Matt Gaetz of being the FBI informant on Trump Mar-a-Lago. But I'm like, no, it's got to be, I'm thinking Kushner. And
I mean, Kushner did get a gajillion dollars for something. So I'm pretty sure he had something in his hand that only Trump was supposed to have.
And it's not like,
what was it, that article that called the Kushner dimples with no demographics?
Oh my God. That article roasted him so bad. It was the best thing I had ever read. That guy is just, it was a brilliant roast. It was brilliant.
Yeah. Like talking about his new book.
Yeah, it was like the critiquing of his new book. Like, it's not even worth it. And I remember talking, and I was like, this guy, like, I haven't read his book. The critique, and they didn't even mention on there how he's blowing smoke up his own ass. But Jared Kushner was the mastermind in thinking COVID is only going to affect blue states, so just don't worry about it. And next thing you know, a fucking pandemic that killed 1 million people,
Yes. For those that are watching that want to read the article about Kushner's book, it was the New York Times review of it. And the guy wrote, it's like watching a cat lick eye goo out off a dog's eye. It was so gross. It's like, yeah, okay, I won't be reading that book.
I do declare.
It's that painful to read.
He just looks like such a pretentious, snooty, arrogant little schmuck of a man. Like, I can't. And I swear to God, the guy weighs like 20 pounds soaking wet. Huh?
I thought it was interesting, because we read a while back, like, will the Mueller report ever come back again in investigations with Trump? And now they, through Freedom of Information Act, they now, Judge Berman Jackson released the letter that Barr wrote where he was protecting Trump, and saying, okay, this is how we're going to deal with Congress, and this is how we're going to deal with the Mueller report and everything. So Barr is now on TV because he's got a book he's trying to sell. He's now on TV saying that he never read the Mueller report, that he took Trump's word for it, that he never committed any crimes. I mean, how stupid does he think we are? That the AG of the United States never read the Mueller report?
Dumb. This is how bad they think that their voters are. That they can just shamelessly lie to them, and they'll just be like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like they're that stupid. Like they're that stupid. So what's the question?
So the Mueller report is, coming up again and stuff, and like all the redacted parts and everything. So will Barr ever get in any kind of trouble for obstruction of justice? Because that's the main thing he did. He did not let the Mueller report do what it was supposed to do. He's so slimy. I think that's the only thing they could catch him on.
He does dress like Pee-wee Herman. He ain't got as much style and flair as Pee-wee Herman.
Yeah, he probably does what got Pee-wee Herman fired as Pee-wee Herman. You know about the movie theater, Johnny?
Oh, Lord.
And I know Peggy's probably talking about Jared Kushner on that one, right, Peggy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he dressed like Pee-wee Herman. That show used to give me the creeps, if I'm being honest, because of that green couch thing that he had. And he was just such a goofy, dumb person. I never got that show. I swear, somebody just give me the job of the devil, man. Because I'm tired of this crap.
There you go.
Just give me the damn job already.
It's weird. I'm getting something like a smaller, lesser charge or something. Something will be done to Barr, but it's going to take a while. It's kind of like, they've kind of turned their back on Barr for right now because, America is focused on Trump and all the thievery he did. So they're kind of isolating their target, so to speak. Like Trump's the target. But they're looking at this information that Barr shared, and with the entire DOJ and everything, he's going to regret it. I do get that there'll be some sort of indictment for the support that he gave to Trump. It's going to take a while. For right now, he's the secure devil, but he's got something coming later. It's much later. It's going to take a while.
You get the secure devil, I get the successful devil. I get the son and the devil. He is quite successful. There is an opportunity under Biden, but it does not go far enough. So I think they missed their chance because I get Justice in the 5 of Cups. So Justice loses out on this one. So I don't think no.
With Johnny, don't get comfortable and get your hopes up because you're going to be crying all night when that shit don't come. So, no, I got to know. Comfortable, hope, squashed, dead, kaput, done. No. Mm-mm. Nope. I got to know.
How to Break the Law in 3 Short Years. Is that the name of his book?
Yep.
So, Liz Cheney, now that she won't be sworn in January 3rd, with the January 6th committee, are they going to rush to try to conclude the investigation and make their referrals? And B, will the January 6th committee continue after January 3rd? I'm getting questions hitting my head.
So say it one more time.
So will they rush to complete their work before the end of the year and do any referrals, for investigations? I mean, right now, I don't think they have to refer anybody because it looks like DOJ's already investigating everybody.
Well, there's also all that back and forth between DOJ wanting to get testimony and all that other important paperwork and evidence from the committee, but they don't want to give it to them yet because they're still working on the. So it ain't over. It ain't.
Yeah.
Lynn City can pack her bags tomorrow. That committee is still going to be there.
No, I don't get a rush to complete. I get the 8 of Wands, which I thought, okay, it's going to go really, really fast. But then I get Temperance. Temperance, it's moderation. Moderation takes time. So patience. And so there's going to be some new conversations, I think. This may even be a pushback of a end date. So they may have had an end date, and it ends in the Page of Pentacles or Page of Swords. So there might be a bit of a pushback in there because they may be making either some kind of headway or something breaks and they need to talk to a new person or something like that. But I don't get a rush to finish though.
Yeah, I get it ends up being unfinished work. Like, so it is going to go into the next term because they're not satisfied with everything that they've gotten. But I do get the Dems, will take it through, look at their options, and continue on into the next term with it. Because the focus, is Trump, and I do get there will be legal issues for Trump, but it's gonna carry over into the next committee or next Congress.
So I got a question after this one as well, but I get that the news of the meetings are delayed, obstructed, but they're delayed. News or visitors, meetings, delayed. So I got a question, and I will say this again. I am not a fan of Liz Cheney. I am not here to rehabilitate her. I think she's a god-awful person. I do not agree with anything about her at all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, girl. Bye-bye. Okay? But here's my thing, because I do love me some drama, because I'm petty. And she has sworn to take down Donald Trump. And in an interview the other day, she said Kevin McCarthy is not fit to be House Speaker. I want to know, not that I like her, not that I like her policies, none of that. I'm just here for the drama. Is she going to be on the outside? Like what is she going to do when she's out? Because how do you plan to do it? Because you have to campaign and do all this other stuff to get rid of these people that are in positions of power. So she's going to have to try to cleanse the party from the outside in. And she's a person that's very well politically connected, especially with a name like Cheney. So I'm sure, I don't know how Washington works, but I'm sure that she has a lot more leverage than, say, the Lincoln Project or something like that. You know what I mean? Because she's got the Rolodex of the name donors and the da-da-da-da-da-da. So how is, I don't know how to ask it, Jenny, how is she going to,
what is she going to do? Yeah, what is she going to do in the new year to try to get her party back or to take Trump down? What is she going to do when she's on the outside? Because she does know a lot of people, former Republicans and people that are still Republicans but are anti-Trump. What are her plans?
I mean, I would think it'll be like George Little Bush 2.0 times 10 if Liz Cheney ever got into office. But I would love her to run just to upset the party. You know what I mean? Like, because you're going to have the crazies, like, Ron DeSantis and Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz have political aspirations, but they're freaking nuts. Like, they are like crazy, So I think it'd be great.
She's going to go after the truth, so trying to alter, the big lie and everything. She's going to stick to the truth as far as the election results. But she also wants power, I'm getting. And she's got an abundance of donors that would give her money in secret. And she will be very high profile. So whether she runs for president or Senate or something, she's got a lot of work to do for votes. And I get that she tries to, communicate out there, to burden those that have partnered in the big lie, in all the confusion. So she's gonna like try to take down one by one anybody that spreads the lie.
I get nothing.
You get nothing, Tony?
That's what she's gonna do. That's what I get.
She's not gonna do anything?
First card it flew out was 8 of Cups, so I kept it. Not necessarily walking away, so we'll get the whole story. And there's a woman here walking away or leaving something unfinished. There's some exhaustion here with the government or agencies in the government. There's separation from work, and then loss and doom, and it's over. And then it ends in 9 of Swords. So I can't spin that. No. So nothing. That's what I get.
So it's just basically like, shit, the building, it's like completely on fire. It's down to ashes. There's no point in putting out the fire because the whole thing is just.
The word of solace was the Page of Wands. So, I mean, she can use her voice, but I don't get any actions.
Dang.
Not to say that she won't. That's what this is. Let's say that.
I get that she'll become very passionate and quite focused on working with a team, perhaps to take away from the love and support and energy of a man that is just very famous. Marketing. Okay, but she gets with the team to work and take away from the love and the passion, the success of this very famous man. So whether this is your Donald Trump, or because this with the mice here, this is also a team. Mice work in teams. So it could also be a team of men. So you could be looking at your Kevin McCarthy's, your Donald Trumps, your Ron DeSantis, your Ted Cruz's, your Josh Hawley's, Matt Gaetz, people like that, the crazy people. But she gets involved in some sort of group around that. So
she'll be like with the Lincoln Project or something like that, some kind of think tank.
Maybe, but Lincoln Project, I mean, this is just my opinion, but I don't think the Lincoln Project has really deterred anybody away from, because Trump is such a polarizing figure. You're either a person that has 2 eyes and a brain and you can see what's happening, or you're over there drinking at the buffet of bullshit, with all day, 24/7, 365. Like it's not going to persuade you, like you have Republicans that are defending an insurrection, Jen. You're not going to get those people back. Like you're not going to get those people back. So, but the commercials are entertaining, Llama. They're very entertaining. So, okay. So Trump can't get legal representation for his Mar-a-Lago. Layaway lawyer, man. They're all going to jail. They're going to block his number. They're like, don't take a coffee. This guy. Everybody in our firm's gotten arrested. So he can't find legal representation for the Mar-a-Lago situation. Why?
Probably because he keeps admitting he took the documents.
I think
he's human monkeypox. That's why.
I declassified them.
Any law firm that he calls up is sitting there with the rolling count of all his lawyers that are going to jail, and they're like, "We ain't touching that motherfucker. No way." Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, Johnie.
And then when he does find a lawyer, they're nuts. Like, at some point, Donald Trump, quit shaking that tree. Ain't nothing falling out but nuts. I mean, it's just, come on, somebody.
No, Johnny, shit is falling out. Coconuts keep hitting him in the head and knocking him more stupid and stupid. Over there in Florida, taking the palm trees and not the coconuts.
I was laughing at Michael Cohen, the fixer. He said the only person stupider than Donald Trump is Eric Trump.
I believe you.
I face.
I mean, I think he might be a little smarter than Donald Trump. A little.
Oh my God.
Because he looks like he knows how to read at least.
Doesn't have a
My
learning
dad
disability.
loves you. Dad, I love you so much, Dad.
That's so sad,
Dad, I
too,
love
because
you.
Donald Trump does not love that boy.
My dad's so smart. They're going after him. He's a political victim. I love him. Dad, I love you. I love you, Dad.
He don't know Eric's wife's name. Every time he look at Eric, he look like he just stepped on a Lego and he's all pissed off. I'm like, what is wrong with that's your son, ain't it? He looked just like you. Sort of.
Oh
Not
my
really.
God.
Rudy Giuliani's son looked just like you.
Dude, I'm telling you, John, it's gonna be gross, but I'm telling you, they were having the swingers party because they do look like look like twins. So why can't he get legal representation?
Well, because every time something happens, he burdens it with all the illumination on what he did. So nobody, only the cheap seats are available to him. Only the cheap lawyers are available to him now because they talk to the DOJ or whatever, and they're like, okay, I'm done. I'm complete. Done. Wrap it up. Nobody wants to sacrifice themselves to represent him.
Oh my
And that's
God.
what it would be.
He's too hard to manage also.
That's the biggest thing for any attorney. When they tell you to stop talking and you can't do nothing but talk, I can't help you if you won't help me. Like,
And Johnny, when you tell your client not to talk and they keep talking to them, when they're talking, they keep committing even like 20 more crimes.
I didn't collude with Russia. I just called them on the phone and talked about all the crimes. Okay.
It was a perfect
And
phone call. Perfect phone
you
call.
just didn't use the word
phone call.
collusion. Okay, I got you. That's great. Let's quit. I get 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, because those who are worth their weight in gold know better. And those who are chasing sensationalism chase sensationalism. He's easy to get popular because there's the devil and the King of Swords. So hire her, Donald. Maybe she can help you. But they chase sensationalism, and those who know better do better. And no, I'm not representing you because 1, I think you are a crook, and 2, I'm not going to put myself out on TV to have to cover your lie every day because that's what you're going to have to do. Every time you get in the media, you're going to have to spin what's happening and try to make it seem like that's not what's happening when everybody else got eyes and ears too.
So I got the clouds, the lilies, the heart, the bear, and the snake. It would be very, 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 very bad for their honesty. They would not be seen as honest, virtuous people by high-paying, big money people. The big clients that they want, would have a serious problem. And it would be, it's just, it's almost, even though the moon is not here, it's almost like it's reputational, like almost like reputational damage. You see what I'm saying? Because the lily talks about your expertise, your maturity, your virtue, your honesty. But it's saying, that honesty is not, like, you're going to stain your record if you take something like him on.
And your shorts.
And your shorts. And then it causes problems perhaps with other clients, people that are respectable and reputable that can pay or have deep pockets or very resourceful, but he brings nothing but trouble. Nothing but big trouble. His power, his finances are huge trouble. It's a lie, and it's treason here. So you're like, yeah, we ain't touching that shit with a 10-foot. And here's the thing: all these lawyers that are jumping on Trump to try to get on the quick get rich quick scheme. It's like, you do realize that you just committed like career suicide. Nobody would ever hire you ever again with a straight face. Either because you're going to end up in jail for committing crimes on his behalf, like the line of lawyers before you,
or it's a no-win situation. You know, the kid.
But again, Medusa, his lawyers are in a position where they need lawyers. This ain't like where the doctor needs a doctor. No, a lawyer has to be involved in something, either plaintiff or defense or defending, where something went wrong, and when you attach Donald Trump to it, it's more than likely illegal. It's a crime. You go to jail. You can lose your license. You can lose your life. It's like there's just, you see it though, but you have an example already. So you have to be an absolute straight up fool to say, yes, let me take him on as a client. Rudy Giuliani needs a lawyer. Sidney Powell needs a lawyer. Those are your two.
Johnny's needs a lawyer. The other idiot guy, the two other idiot guys from DOJ need lawyers.
Lindsey Graham's got one. Everybody's got a lawyer.
You got an Oprah thing. You get a lawyer. You get a lawyer. And but well, maybe not, because Trump can't get one. Mm-hmm. Wasn't no lawyer under your seats, buddy.
See, if Trump just had gotten kittens, he would have been a lot nicer person. This is
Jen, he's too evil. He's too evil. He's the kind of person that would kick a dog or a cat just to be a fucking asshole. Like,
look how big Skewy's getting. He's getting big. That's Skewy.
He had a kitten. It was called Ivanka. Sat on his lap and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, he finally got fucked by that pussy, didn't he? When she turned on him.
I have a song on repeat, and I need to take it off of repeat because I don't know what it says about me. But his name is Mighty Sparrow, is his name. I think he's passed on now, but he has a song called Afraid Pussy Might Bite Me. And so look it up. It's hilarious. It's meant to be funny.
We're totally watching that in the after show, Johnny. We're totally watching.
He's from the Caribbean. Little accent and everything. It's hilarious.
So next week on Johnny's channel, he's back.
Yep. Yes. We're back with Johnny. Back next week at Johnny's channel. Our favorite little Johnny ever. You don't want to squeeze his cheeks. So we'll be on Johnny's next week. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out tonight. And we hope we kept it light and fun and whatever for you, petty. And we shall see you next week. Johnny's. Bye-bye.
Bye.